The 12 tribes and the round tables. The 12 tribes of the 4 rounds of the angelic human cycle of the rounds evolutionary divine blueprint were seated on earth specifically for the purpose of serving the sacred commission of fulfilling the planetary Christos realignment mission. Each of the 12 tribes in any one evolutionary round was composed of various combinations of the 5 primary races manifest within the evolutionary round. The DNA templates of each of the 12 tribes were encoded with the DNA signet codes encrypted into the DNA template, and each tribe was seated on the 2 primary locations affiliated with the Stargate, number to which the DNA signet codes corresponded. Though numerous periods of Earth changes have occurred since the round 1 Palladia Urite cloister empires were seated in 798,000 BC, the 12 tribes of evolutionary round were repeatedly resettled in the same geographical regions of Earth that corresponded to the 12 stargates of Earth, to which the DNA templates of the tribes were frequency keyed. The significance in understanding the angelic human cycle of the round's evolutionary blueprint is in that through this understanding, we can learn much about ourselves and our contemporary drama today. Contemporary humanity is part of the 4th round of the cycle of the rounds. Our contribution during between 2000 and 2017 SAC, which stands for the Stellar Activation Cycle, is just as important for the success of the planetary Christos realignment mission as it is for the angelic human nations in the other evolutionary rounds. The other evolutionary rounds are not bygone reality of the ancient past. They are reality now. Time is simultaneous. The other planetary time cycles within which the other evolutionary rounds are taking place exist concurrently with our contemporary planetary time cycle within their respective space-time vectors. Time cycles of the past and future evolutionary rounds are intimately interconnected with our present time cycle. Each round directly affects the other. 12 cycles, simultaneous incarnations, and DNA. The reality of the cycle of the rounds hold great personal significance as well as unprecedented collective importance. The individuals incarnated within the other evolutionary rounds are simultaneous incarnations of ourselves. The fact that we exist here today implies that we also have a personal expression of self within each of other evolutionary rounds. In the cycle of the round blueprint, there are 4 rounds, each containing 3 planetary time cycles, for a total of 12 planetary time cycles in the particle universe. This interwoven set of 12 planetary time cycles is called a planetary 12 cycle. There is a corresponding evolutionary 12 cycle concurrently taking place within the antiparticle universe of parallel Earth. The cycle of the rounds divine blueprint includes both the particle and antiparticle cycles, for a total of 2 planetary 12 cycles within the cycle of the rounds. The pattern of 2 planetary 12 cycles is the core manifestation template of the angelic human evolutionary blueprint. To incarnate in human form, a consciousness must adopt this primal order of the angelic human evolutionary divine blueprint. Every human incarnate is part of a larger family of incarnated selves called the personal Christos. The personal Christos is the eternal personal identity that includes 1,728 simultaneous incarnations, each placed within various space-time locations or time vectors within the 4 rounds of the cycle of the rounds. In each of the 4 evolutionary rounds, there are 216 simultaneously incarnate selves and their antiparticle counterparts within the parallel Earth system, for a total of 1,728 incarnates. The 1,728 simultaneous incarnations of the eternal personal identity are incarnated into the angelic human race forms characteristic to their respective evolutionary rounds. Round 2, Palladia Urite Cloister race. Round 3, Urite Cloister race. Round 4, Cloister race. And round 1 is the root races. Each of us have 216 selves incarnate within the angelic human race lines characteristic to each of the 4 evolutionary rounds. Each of the 3 planetary time cycles in each of the 4 evolutionary rounds contains 72 time vectors. In one planetary 12 cycle, there are 864 time vectors. We each have one incarnate self in each of the 864 time vectors of one planetary 12 cycle, and 864 corresponding selves in the parallel Earth planetary 12 cycle. An angelic human with a 12-strand DNA template has 1,728 simultaneous selves manifest within a 1,728 time vectors of 2 planetary 12 cycles. Indigo children, Magi Grail line angelic humans with 12-strand DNA templates have 1,728 simultaneous selves incarnate in 1,728 time vectors in one planetary 12 cycle, and 3,456 simultaneous selves in the 2 planetary 12 cycles of the cycles of the round. Magi with 36-strand DNA templates have 2,592 selves in a 2,592 time vectors in one strand DNA. Template Magi have 3,456 selves in one 12 cycle and 6,912 selves in the 2 12 cycles. Each of our 1,728 angelic human selves in their respective time vectors is interconnected with each other across time through a shared DNA template. And when activated, the 12 strands of the 12-strand DNA template serves as electromagnetic windows or internal stargates through time. Through the activated 12-strand DNA template, the frequencies of energy and consciousness of each 1,728 selves merge into an embodied, unified conscious awareness. Each individual incarnate self comes to know itself as an internal Christos avatar identity that is simultaneously manifesting in 1,728 different time vectors, wearing the costume of 1,728 different bodies and personality characterizations. The 1,728 simultaneous incarnations of the personal Christos eternal identity represents the reincarnational heritage of every 12-strand angelic human being. Every human being possesses the dormant imprint of a minimum of 12-strand angelic human design. The tangible reality of the personal Christos is held into manifestation within the personal Christos divine blueprint, the D12 pre-matter liquid light hydroplasm maharic shield. The personal D12 Christos divine blueprint maharic shield connects each individual Christos self to the larger D12 Christos divine blueprint of the species. The D12 Christos divine blueprint is called the tribal shield. To understand the realities of the personal spiritual integration and actualization, in order to fulfill our personal life purpose, it is important to comprehend the basic primal order structures of energy, the personal D12 maharic shield, and the D12 species tribal shields through which our consciousness manifests in time. The secrets to reclaiming the divine birthrights and responsibilities of angelic human heritage are hidden within the realities of the tribal shield and the specific fire letter sequence of the tribal shield that manifests within and govern the function of the angelic human DNA template. Reality of spiritual integration. Spiritual actualization is as much as a function of a divine physics as it is a product of divine consciousness. The natural primal order of a universal structure sets the templates of manifestation to which consciousness must conform to enter the experience of manifest expression within a space-time matter system. Personal Christos maharic shield manifestation template and the Christos tribal shield species manifestation template are microcosmic replicas of the macrocosmic primal order upon which universal and cosmic structure are built. The tangible realities of human spiritual actualization takes place through the primal order of the angelic human 12-strand DNA template. Each DNA strand template holds a specific set of internal stargates that allows for the progressive merging of the consciousness and energy frequencies of 1,728 selves incarnate within the 2 planetary 12 cycles of the cycle of the rounds. Spiritual actualization as a reality rather than a theoretical concept takes place through progressive activation of the dormant 12-strand DNA template. Each DNA strand template corresponds to one dimensional frequency band, to corresponding levels or dimensions of conscious awareness, and to a specific set of incarnations within the cycle of the rounds. Spiritual actualization is accomplished when the 12-strand DNA template internal stargates have fully opened, allowing the 12 dimensions of conscious awareness of the eternal personal Christos identity to merge and unify within a singular embodiment across the fields of time. The key to spiritual actualization is activation of the dormant personal 12-strand DNA template. The most rapid means of activating the dormant angelic human 12-strand DNA template is through the activation of the tribal shield. The species D12 Christos divine blueprint, which represents the core programming of the personal D12 maharic shield. Activating the tribal shield. The 12-dimensional tribal shield is the dormant species divine blueprint within the DNA template core of angelic human race of the 4 evolutionary rounds. The frequency of energy and dimensions of consciousness at the 1,728 simultaneous selves of the personal eternal Christos identity can be activated in one incarnation through sequential activation of the fire letter sequence or flame codes of the tribal shield. The flame code fire letters within the DNA template are the DNA signet codes that corresponds to Earth's 12 primary stargates and the planetary shields through which the planetary body manifests. The flame codes serve as a core foundation of the personal 12-strand DNA template. The DNA template fire codes of the tribal shield allow for the primal life force currents of density 5, dimensions 13, 14, and 15, the Kirasha primal light fields, and the Kundalini primal sound fields from the energy matrix beyond the 15-dimensional time matrix to embody more fully within the angelic human form. A fire letter is a fixed point of consolidated frequency that holds specific frequencies of consciousness into manifest form. The manifestation template or divine blueprints of all things manifest are built upon intricate patterns of interwoven fire letters called fire letter sequences. The flame codes of angelic human personal DNA template, and species tribal shield are composed of the same fire letter sequences that make up the divine blueprint of Earth's planetary shields. Activation of the tribal shield sets in motion simultaneous firing, or activations of the 144 fire letters, which are 12 fire letter sequences of the 12-strand DNA template, expediting the natural evolutionary process of soul over soul and Christos avatar identity integration through progressively opening the trans-time DNA template stargates. Activating the 12-strand DNA template allows the D12 frequency of the universal Christos maharic current to activate within and run through the angelic human DNA template and into Earth's planetary shields. Activation of the maharic current within groups of angelic humans on Earth allows for collective anchoring of the D12 planetary Christos divine blueprint, the shield of Armamentina, to achieve fulfillment of angelic humanity's sacred commission of the planetary Christos realignment mission.